Well, Martin, I know you're usually pretty good at being calm and measured, but the emotions right now must be absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love to win like this. I love these games. I love to play at home. The fans, the atmosphere is unbelievable. So very, very happy and proud of the team as well, to come back in the game and to win, massive game for us. So yeah, very, very happy.
The roof absolutely came off at the end, and I saw you go over to the supporters after full time. What is it like sharing that moment with like a big group like that?
No, it's the best feeling in the world, honestly. This is what we play for, this feeling, to celebrate with our fans, to give them something back, everything they do for us, how they supported us in each moment, when we go 1-0 down, they keep cheering. And they give us so much energy, so yeah, it's amazing to give them these 3 points back.
And actually, the last couple of minutes plus stoppage time felt like a match in itself, didn't it? You lost it and then you won it.
Yeah, no, it was mad. Don't know what happened, but we played 12 minutes. But yeah, Gabi did so good there in the end, and I got the third goal, so yeah, it was good.
And you scored a great goal, but I bet it feels about 100 years ago now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was a long one. I think all the games are like this now, with the added times, and yeah, you have to be prepared to play 100 and 105 and 110 minutes, so we have to dig deep every game, but I thought we did brilliant today, and I think we deserve the win as well.
And I heard no real time to enjoy it. You got to get straight on the plane for international duty.
Yeah, Norway. Straight to Norway now, so yeah, it was going to be good to see the boys there again and keep going there as well, so yeah, excited.
Well done, incredible day.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Talking about the dramatic end, big moment, of course, for Arsenal's club record signing. Here he is, Declan Rice.
Congratulations, that was Rice Baby, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was prime vanilla ice, that. Featuring myself.
Ice in the veins as well.
No, look, honestly, my mouth's really dry. What a moment, what a moment to score. So many people told me that I'd score today. It's weird, like staff members and players had a funny feeling, and I was getting myself into good positions, but to finish that one off and get the 3 points, I think you can see the relief. I'm still recovering now.
It was every bit an Arsenal-Manchester United game in terms of drama, big VAR decisions and everything. I think most people would feel that Arsenal deserved to win it. I'm sure you do.
Yeah, we was knocking at the door constantly. I think we had the more of the chances. Their chances were coming more from counter-attacks, that we was giving away sloppy balls. But in the end, I think we thoroughly deserved it. It would have been horrible to have conceded the Garnacho one. So luckily enough, he was offside. But yeah, fine margins in football, and these games you need to be winning them. If you want to be competing at the top, this is what you got to keep doing. You got to keep probing, knocking at the door, keep going, and yeah, it was just such a special day.
I think it was the 12th corner that, from which you scored.
That's the thing. You got to keep going. You got to keep believing in what you're working on. Keep to the strategies, what the coaches are wanting us to do. And I think in the end, to bring the ball down and get a shot off like that and score. To be honest with you, it all happens in a split second. I'm honestly feel like my head's so clouded with things. It's going to take a moment to digest. But on the 12th corner to score, it was coming for sure.
Have a look tonight. I think you'll enjoy it.
He'll be on. He'll be on tonight. Don't worry about that.
Thank you very much.
Top man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Well played. Cheers.
And it's taken away from you for some lines on and I still don't know if that's offside, but
we should examine everything. Don't worry.
Looking forward to it.
What another Premier League weekend we have witnessed for this season. Goodness me. We've played 39 games, incidentally. We are yet to see 1-0-0. No 0-0s yet in this season. And long may that continue. It all began, of course, with West Ham's win at the very first Premier League game at Kenilworth Road on Friday night. Then those 2-2 draws between Sheffield United and Everton, Brentford and Bournemouth. Five-star show from Spurs. Defeat for Chelsea at home to Forest. 5 for City as well. And Newcastle's third consecutive defeat away at Brighton. Earlier today, Palace beat Wolves by 3-2. Liverpool beat Villa by 3-0. And 3 goals for Arsenal and 3 points, having gone 1-0 down at home to Manchester United. So, of course, there is an international break now, 4 games into the season. Nice little screenshot for City fans, the only side with a 100% record. But Spurs, Liverpool, West Ham and now Arsenal have all started unbeaten with 10 points from 12. Burnley and Luton, the newly promoted teams who've only played 3, yet to register a point. Everton, Sheffield United and Bournemouth yet to register a victory, and Manchester United in the bottom half on 6 points. Yeah, his equaliser in the first half. It was some second half and very eventful ending. Before we see Declan Rice's big moment, well, I was going to say, can we clear up? Is it possible to clear up whether it was a corner to Arsenal?
I think if we're going to be really nitpicking about it, that you look at it and obviously Martin's going to appeal for it, but I'm trying to see if you can see the trajectory of the ball, and if he's hit somebody, it would start spinning. And I can't see from there whether it can, but whether we can see it from there. But he's instantly. See, the ball looks like it's just moving, and you can't see no spin. And what would happen is that spin would, if it hits something, it just naturally puts top spin on it. And that's why we was thinking, well, you know, you're naturally going to appeal because you want to get the corner. So
what are you saying? Was it a corner or not?
It didn't seem like, I can't clear up whether it's a corner or not.
Simple yes or no.
Well, I can't see if it's a corner or not. I'm just trying to explain, Peter, why I don't think it is. There's no spin on the ball. So
was it a corner? Yes or no?
Yeah, probably yeah. Yeah, because you don't want to hear that. So I'm going to tell you what. We can't clear it up. How can you clear it up? But they've given it, and it's the difference in it. That's the margins.
Difficult, right? Margin. They are so tight. The offside, is it offside? Is it non-offside?
What do you think about the corner?
But my point is, it's the little things that has this great influence on how the game turns. I personally don't think it's a corner, because I think you can, if it hits something, you can see it on the spin of the ball. You can see how it spins. If it hits Eriksen's leg, it's definitely going to have an impact on how the ball's flying and the spin on it in the air.
Michael?
And it just looks like he gets under the ball here and, just skies. But of course, he's claiming it. That's pretty good play.
We've got no way, from these pictures, we've got no way of being sure, have we? That's the bottom line. So Ødegaard did claim as soon as he hit it, but as the lad said, everyone claims, when the ball goes, it's either a goal kick or a corner. So you say, corner ball, and that's just a natural reaction. On those pictures, it's very, very difficult to say, but the only little hint is the ball.
Yeah.
And when you see the ball, it doesn't look like a deflected shot from the ball, but that's not conclusive evidence.
So, next question is, Johnny Evans, was he fouled before Declan Rice scored?
My instinctive reaction was, yes, he's definitely fouled. I would say, obviously, Wright, he was flying everywhere in the studio. I said, calm down. It's going to be... it's cancelled out because it's a foul. When we see it again, it's actually a foul the other way. Johnny Evans is actually so you see that? It's the other way. I think it's really, really bad defending. How can you let Declan Rice, first of all, be free there and then give him that much time when you're 6 minutes into added on time and there are enough players there, Harry Maguire, Marcus Rashford, Johnny Evans is on the ground, but there's enough players there to go out and challenge. And then at the end of the day, I know it gets a deflection, but if I'm Onana, I would be a little bit annoyed with myself for not having saved. Yeah, because it's not that difficult. It gets a deflection. He's still getting to it. It's not like he doesn't have to change direction massively. He's still there. It's just the way. They're little things,
Well,
but have
it was the second half of fine margins, wasn't it? So
yeah,
that was one of them.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought Johnny Evans was trying to block Gabriel, so I didn't think it was a foul at all, despite claims. So I thought that was fine, and yeah, I agree. You'd have to look at the goalkeeper there. Does take a deflection. Johnny Evans actually pulls Gabriel out the way in the end. He blocks him there. He tries to block him, and then Declan Rice has swept around the back. Does really well to keep it down when a bouncing ball like that. You've got to concentrate. And then it just takes that little deflection off Johnny Evans.
And then here into the crowd of players, that's what I see what you're saying there, in respect, because with some deflections, it deflects and it goes way over that side. Obviously, you ain't got no chance, but with that one again, ain't it though, Pete? He's expecting a different kind of shot though, isn't it? Because he's gone down and then it's deflected and then it's. I don't know how you move your arm.
So the way I phrased it was, I said that Onana probably will be a little bit unhappy with himself. So it's not like a clear, massive goalkeeping mistake in that respect, because it does get a deflection. It does have an impact on how you dive and where your balance is. You know, sometimes you're so much out of balance that even a hand turn off. But if that was me, I would probably be a little bit annoyed with myself and think.
OK, that's the Manchester United goalkeeper we're talking about. Let's speak live to the Arsenal one, Aaron Ramsdale, after that incredible game. Good to see you, Aaron. Well done. That was incredible to watch. What was it like to play in?
Yeah, it was a top game. Two teams who were very well coached, and it was very tactical. Not many chances because of the way both teams are settled. But yeah, great ending for us. We were ruthless when we needed to be at the end, and crazy day, but you know, we come out with 3 points, so we're very pleased.
Crazy last 10 minutes, because for a split second you thought you were 2-1 down.
Yeah, you know, we probably got sucked into the emotion of the game, going for the goal, and you know, that can bite you sometimes, and you know, the penalty goes against us, which was probably the right decision, and then there was a goal, and it was almost a sucker punch, and then you get lifted. So to go on then after to score 2 goals, it's a great feeling for us and the team in the dressing room.
Aaron, just with the obviously with the Fulham game, coming off the Fulham game and not winning that, is there anything? Is anyone saying anything about how important it is for us to win the home games at the moment? And did you feel pressure with that? Because I'm feeling like the last 15, 20 minutes of games, when the game's tight, Aaron, I feel like there's an anxiety there.
I think there's a pressure to win games of football when you play for Arsenal. I don't think that's going for the league or not. You know, I think as a young team we can get a little bit emotional with it, and when the fans are screaming us to score as they're willing us on to do, I think sometimes we get sucked into that, and we have to be a little bit calmer, especially us at the back, to control it. But you know, I think it's time on the pitch with this team. There's a few new faces. And, you know, Zinchenko, Kai Havertz and Martin Elliott's the first time they played together. So I think the longer we go on, the relationships will develop, and yeah, I think you'll see it start to click a lot more.
And Aaron, how important is it to go into an international break now? You get a little break on the back of a win. You know, it can be a long old international break if you don't pick up the 3 points.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's huge. Because we're not going to debrief this game until probably 10 days' time. So going into it on a loss, you know, you're dwelling on it, and then you've got to pick yourself up to compete for your country. So at times, yeah, there are going to be things which we need to improve on, but with the win, we're able to, you know, go into it with a smile and be able to enjoy the international break and compete with a new set of players and a new team.
Really well done, Aaron. Thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
1-1 at the break at the Emirates Stadium between Arsenal and Manchester United. They're always eventful. Sprung into life with those 2 goals. What have you made of it?
Yeah. No, I thought Arsenal were the better side in the first half. And Manchester United struggled to play through the pitch. I think they ended up going long on a couple of occasions. It's not really what Erik ten Hag wants to do. He wants to play out from the back. And we've seen them counter-attacking to devastating effect over the years. And that's what they did when Kai Havertz made the mistake of a square pass. And that was their main sort of part that they played in that first half, Manchester United. It was a brilliant counter-attack, finished perfectly by Rashford. But in general, it's been Arsenal that have had control of the game.
They have, and that's why you had the frustration in which the way Arsenal went behind.
Yeah, because it's a mistake. And like I said at the start, Man United, you can't underestimate them simply because of the calibre and quality of player they got. So this is how Man United are playing. This is what they want. They want a counter-attack. It's a poor pass from Kai Havertz across the pitch. And once you get into this situation, you know Rashford wants to come in on the right foot. Somebody maybe should make that adjustment, but they don't make. And it's a brilliant goal. It's a great goal, you know, and exactly how you're believing that Manchester United are going to score a goal through a mistake from Arsenal, because up to this point they're in total control. And then the quality comes through now. Eriksen's great pass, Rashford's ability to come in on his right foot, and you know, even though he got a hand to it, it's a fantastic finish. So that's what you have to be careful of. No matter how much possession you've got, no matter how dominant you're being, Man United can do that to you, no matter how poorly they're playing.
And you're sick of the sight of them. That's 6 goals against Arsenal now, his second favourite opponent. Straight away, Michael, we noticed this. Mikel Arteta called his captain over as soon as the goal went in.
Yeah, and whatever he said worked, because obviously he was the man that got on the end of it. A matter of seconds later, Steve, the kickoff was taken, and Arsenal got back into the game straight away, which they needed to do.
And could, Peter, Manchester United have done any better here?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I had a coach who always said to me, to the team, you know, that you're most vulnerable right after you've scored. You know, you've got to focus, concentrate. I think Martinez shouldn't be running towards what he's doing. He should be running to what the error is. Eriksen should be running back and cover for him. But he does, he runs the other way, Martinez, takes himself out of the game. And I think Dalot as well, looking for a little bit scared of Saka. But I you know, in defending, a lot of the times it's about putting out fires. So you put one fire out and don't think about the next one until you have to put that out. And I just think that, you know, the players, they weren't focused, they weren't concentrating enough. They were happy they were 1-0 up. And when you're up against that level of quality, the touch on the left-hand side, the cross in, and of course the ball ending at the feet of Odegaard, who was a fantastic player, well, then you're going to be penalised. It's great quality from Arsenal's point of view, and it's interesting that we both analysed the goals scored from the opposite viewpoint to where the mistakes are. But both goals actually ooze of quality. The pass, the finishing, it's really good stuff.
At 0-0, Kai Havertz, what happened?
Yeah. You know something, you just want these kind of things to happen for him. He's obviously, with this, Steve, he's taking his eye off the ball. I'm thinking this is what he needs. You know what I mean? He needs to settle himself down. There's a lot of talk about him, but like, for me, it's a great touch, Pete. Mike, it's a great touch.
Fantastic, sets him up really well.
He's kind of just like, he's just slashed his foot at it instead of just watching it, keep your foot on it. From where you are, any on target, you probably score. And I think at the moment, that's how it's going for him. You know, it came off Anthony Martial's hand to get to him, so I can't complain about that. But at the same time, it's the kind of chance that you hope he takes so as he can start to get himself going at Arsenal.
You just don't see that, do you? Professional footballers like simply missing the ball. If the ball's shooting across at 100 mile an hour, then okay. But it was all calm, and there was a beautiful touch, and it was right in front of him, and he missed the ball. I mean, he missed the ball. You just don't see that. I think you said, didn't you? I haven't seen that in,
I haven't seen it for a
years
long
and years.
time. Yeah, I haven't seen it for a long time. And
how do you miss the ball?
Again, Mike, it's one of those that you're hoping for a new signing, somebody that, you know what I mean, the Arsenal fans are still, we're waiting for it to happen for him. That's in this game, scoring that kind of goal kind of takes you to that place. So I'm just hoping.
I can only imagine what it's like living a 90 minutes like that in your position. Well, sure. But look, is it all worth it for the joy at the end?
For sure. I think we work and we do what we do every day to live moments like this. It was beautiful at the end to celebrate it with our fans the way it happened. And it shows you that this sport at the top level is about small margins. And I think we merit to win the game, that's for sure. But it could have gone the other way if they scored them. They want to.
You said actually before the match, I'm jealous of the players. The weather, the occasion, the opponent. These are the games. And even more so now when it goes like that.
Yeah, I'm jealous of Declan as well, the way you have to feel when you score a winner like this, you know. But I'm really happy. Obviously, they are a great team. They are really well coached. They make life really difficult for you. But I think we're generating moments and chances to win the game. But when you give to the opponent again the way we give the first goal away, almost the way we give the second goal away, you are always on the cliff. And against those teams with the quality that they have, that's a very dangerous place to be.
Throughout the history of the Premier League, these matches, Arsenal against Manchester United, have been about big midfield performances. Gave a few yourself. Did Declan Rice deliver that today?
He was outstanding. But I think the whole team as well. And you have to be really dominant, and they have to world-class players. And he imposed himself in many occasions, and he gave his momentum in certain moments that the team needed it. So really happy for the performance.
So if you look back, though, only to the 88th minute, did you feel completely flat? The game's gone, Garnacho scored, Manchester United have won it?
Well, no, because you know we're going to give up. But obviously, when you consider a goal the way you've done it, you know, again, it's very frustrating because if they earn it, they have the quality to play you out, find the spaces and score. But given the goal away that we did in the first half, to do it again the second one, it was going to be a really hard one to take. But this is the beautiful thing, things turn around and we won the game.
Yeah, and of course, as a coach, win or lose, you have to look beyond the result to the performance. So when you said there, too many games on a cliff, is that how you feel? Like you're making it difficult for yourself too often?
Yeah, because we've been so dominant. You know, we have against Fulham, it was very similar story that we gave the goal and the second one, and the team deserves more. But that's about competing as well, understanding certain things in certain areas of the pitch that you cannot do them. If not, you get punished in the league. But overall, the attitude. When I see the team, there is that will to win. What they put at the end. That eagerness to go and be insisting and believing. It's beautiful, and the crowd drives that as well.
And what is it like at full time, out on the pitch, enjoying it with your fans? Maybe a moment just now in the dressing room.
Great, and especially before going to international break, there is always a long window there for managers. I think it's really important to win that game, and I'm sure tonight we're gonna enjoy it.
Is it coming for Kai Havertz? It just feels like, I don't know if he's run over a cat or something. Every little mistake that he makes, obviously the penalty thing, he gives the ball away. Maybe if someone else gives it away, it doesn't go in, but it feels like because it's him, it does.
I don't know. I said to him yesterday, when things are a little bit hard at the beginning, when I met my wife, at the beginning it was hard, to conquer her, and I had to try and message and go, and at the end when she said, yes, we want to be together, it's beautiful. If that's a yes in the first day, it's not that great, so it's good, but I think the crowd was really good with him today.
Okay, I'm gonna risk a question on what was it about the Arteta charm won the day with your wife?
Being persistent, I think, and determined. I think that was it.
And I mean, people might have heard your press conference earlier in the week. You talked about each game being a journey, like around the M25 or whatever it may be. If that game was a car journey, what would it have been? Like a traffic jam at the start, and you maybe find a route through at the end?
I knew you were going to speak to it. Today, maybe we took the plane and we did something different. We took the metro, So it's different routes to win games, and that's the beauty of it.
Well done.
Thank you.
Welcome back. The reaction from both managers to Arsenal's 3-1 win over Manchester United on its way, after we've brought you a little insight onto what it's like watching with these three gentlemen, and particularly these two, Messrs Schmeichel and Wright, when Arsenal and Manchester United meet. Sit back and watch this.
Hey! Honestly, I really do support Man United. Oh my God!
We'd never have guessed.
My God!
So bad.
I now know why I'm in my house. I'm watching all the games on my own. Nobody wants to watch the games with me.
We didn't have any choice.
You get paid. You get paid to do it. So that's different. Peter, man, you're kidding. You don't even enjoy your own goals. What you score, you just hey.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
I love it.
I'm leaving all that to you.
It's a good job Michael and I were here to ask for a little bit of neutrality, wasn't it? So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
He's the first Arsenal manager since George Graham to beat Manchester United in 3 consecutive home league games. He's still a little bit concerned about finishing teams off.
Yeah, especially with the starts. We've been pretty, I'd say pretty concentration at the start, losing goals, starting slowly. And then that kind of like feeds into, when you get into the latter stages of the game, the nerves I feel. You're getting messages from the stadium all the time and they're feeling the same thing. They're feeling like, oh no, we should have taken some of those chances. We need to be a bit more ruthless earlier on in the game so as we can maybe relax a little bit more at this stage. And you felt it again in today's game. Man United had a spell and then, Garnacho scores the offside goal where I was feeling that was coming. And I think that he knows that as well, because that's in most of the games we're playing at the minute. So just wants us to be a bit more ruthless, and I think that will come. Hopefully it will come.
OK, well, Manchester United, of course, have been to North London twice already this season and lost twice. Here's what their manager thinks of today, Erik ten Hag.
On 88 minutes, you have every reason to think you've just won the game. And 10 minutes later, you've lost it.
It was not my thought in that moment that we won the game, because then still was 10 minutes to go. But yeah, it could have been. And I think also we deserved to win this game. But yeah, you don't always get what you deserve.
The goal, the Arsenal's second goal, did you feel there might have been a foul on Johnny Evans as the corner came into Declan Rice? It seemed like Evans might have been blocked off a little bit, and therefore it flicks him and hits the post and goes in. Was that your thought?
You're making the point. Absolutely. And can't be that this goal is given, especially not anymore in that moment in the game. It's clear foul, Johnny. Can't be in. So there were more mistakes. Fall on Rasmus Højlund in the box, not given. The penalty taken, are given. What's later on reject. And I think it's not offside.
Are you, at the moment, you have quite a few new faces at the club. You brought in some more faces this week. Is it going to take a little while before you can get that consistency? You've won 2, you've lost 2. You need to get more consistent.
Yeah, if you only look at the result, it's true. But I look more in how we step up. And if you see from the Wolves game into this game, you see absolutely big progress. I think there was tonight, there was a team. Played very well, very compact, was very good on the ball as well. So yeah, I'm really happy with this performance and with the progress in our performance in a lot of head moments of the game.
Is it frustrating then, Eric, when you lose a game, that you then have to say goodbye to your players, most of them, because it's internationals?
It's always difficult, yeah, and that's why I said after the game, we did well. We make progress, and you stick to the plan, have to believe, then you will see. We will, in the future, we will win games like this, but you have to take as you deserve it. Now, yeah, we have to say goodbye, stay fit, win your games, get back, and we will continue.
Quite happy with the performance, but perhaps when he looks at Manchester United's away record in the last 14 games against the teams that finished in the top 9 last season, they've lost 13 of them, they've drawn 1, they haven't won a single one. 1 point from 42. That was at Spurs. They're actually 2-0 up in that game as well. You're shaking your head profusely, Peter.
I mean, I understand when you come out after a game and it's not gone your way, and you think you're in the process of building something, that you say things, you know, like you use words like progress and happy with performance, and but I don't think there's too much to be happy about today, if I'm honest. I think started way too deep, and right from the beginning, giving the initiative to Arsenal. That also, for me, comes from the lineup, the 11 that he picks to play. I think, I've mentioned this before, there's a couple of players in there that are not suited for the way that he wants to play the game. He wants to play nice football as well. And in order to play nice football, like we saw Arsenal, we've seen Liverpool do that, we saw Brighton yesterday, you have to have options on the ball all the time. But the team doesn't have that. And it should worry him a little bit. He doesn't talk about that. But I understand, you know, he hasn't got many options now in the next 10 days to communicate with his players. So this is an interview where he come out and send messages to his players. They're going away on international break. And what he said to them there is he's quite, you know, happy with the results didn't go that way, but if we keep progressing and we keep performing like that in the future, we will win games like this.
Interpretation of his current team?
Well, judging on what we've just seen there, 1 point out of the last 42 or whatever it was, and now I can understand why he was reasonably pleased, because if you're judging it on the performance over the last few games, then OK, it's been all right, but that's not Manchester United. It's not good enough for me.
I think that Man United are not a million miles away. Obviously, we're seeing Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire's not left yet, but I think they're just probably a couple of players, a proper midfielder, a central defender. Away from kicking in, because they're just too good. They're too good to not be doing what they're doing. You look at Garnacho, future. So I don't think they're a million miles away, Man United.
OK, you're going to give us one more smile before we go?
Of course I am, man.
You two going for a nice glass of wine and a bit of a debrief?
Yeah, we will do, yeah. We'll just debrief this.
Yeah, OK. Listen, gentlemen, thank you very much for all your company. A significant day and victory for Arsenal. And Rice, echoing exactly what you said right at the start of the day.
Well, I think that, and people know it as well, you know, if you're trying to build a championship run, and you're chasing down a Manchester City, your home games, no matter how early in the season they are, it's vitally important that you win them. You know, away from home, obviously you want to try and get a draw or win, but at home, if you're in the top 4 and got those aspirations, you have to win those games. That's what I said at the start. I think it's a must-win game, especially with Manchester City winning. You have to just stay amongst it as long as
one of the reasons for that is you build a castle. You build a castle and it's can't say it.
Impregnable.
Impregnable. You cannot get into it. So when a team gets there, they know that it's going to be difficult. And it's not because the games are then going to be easier, but it makes it easier for you to win once you build that reputation. And of course, we know with Man United, for instance, the theatre of dream, Old Trafford was always their fortress, always. And all of a sudden, It wasn't. Now teams are not afraid to go to Old Trafford anymore. And that's what you have to build. You have to build that castle that is yours. So when you come and visit us here, you get nothing. Absolutely. And then the away games are always a little bit harder. That's where you know, it sounds like you're easing up on your home, but you're not. But that's where you fight and fight and fight and get that little bit extra. And you have to match Man City. That's it. That's why you have to. If you're Arsenal, thinking that you should have won the league last year, then you have to match what they've done and what they're doing.
Just to back you up, City only dropped 5 points at home last season. So that's just a little drawbridge maybe today for Arsenal's capital. So, just a quick word on Declan Rice. How big a moment could that be, the record signing with that fee and all the rest of it so early into his Arsenal career?
I don't care who you are, you know, to feel settled in your new surroundings, to have that price tag around your neck in many ways. It just makes it feel so much better when you score a big goal, when you know the crowd sing your name, when you feel part of it. He's a great character anyway. He'll walk into any dressing room and be part of it straight away. But it just adds that little bit of, you know, it just cements that relationship. You all of a sudden feel, right, I've contributed. Yeah. He had a good, solid game today. He's going to be an important player. It's an area of the pitch where, you know, for many, many years since Wrighties, since the Vieiras and the Petites, they used to dominate every team in that area. And it's been quite weak over a long period of time, but now it looks like a real powerhouse of a position for them.
You were asking for Jesus to come off the bench. He'd never scored against Manchester United before. How impressed were you with his coolness and calmness here to settle it once and for all? Well,
it's the, you know, we're talking about a period in the game where now, you know, you either run that into the corner, or if you get this situation, you know, if Johnny Evans comes across like that, you know, it helps you. But you're kind of in a situation where even if you miss that, probably going to blow the whistle. But like to say, you know, the calm nature in which he took it, you know, he's aware of his surroundings. He knows he's coming in at pace, and you know, Dalot, and you know, that just kind of like, then it just like everybody's calm now. But you know, you want to see someone like him on that finish.
Yeah. When you talk about Declan Rice getting a lot of confidence from that goal that he scores there, coming off injury and all that, that's gonna send signals through the Premier League now, and other teams are going to be a bit scared of that.
And I think that's the sign of a centre forward as well, Steve. You know, imagine the emotion around that stadium, players, fans, everything, and you're running through on goal, and everybody else is, you know, like taking a deep and getting excited, but you've got the presence of mind, the coolness, the calmness to think coldly in front of goal. No, I'm going to fake to shoot. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to cut inside. Gives me the better chance of scoring. It opens the goal up. Right foot slot. It's just that's what centre forwards do, because he's had that chance lots and lots of times. He knows how to finish it. If that was a defender running through, it'd be hit it as hard as you can, or a member of the crowd or anything. And that was just the perfect player at the perfect time to finish the game off.
And he goes one ahead of Ian Wright in the goals in this fixture in the Premier League. Sorry, Wrighty, you were smiling too. OK, let's get some Manchester United reaction. Here is their captain, Bruno Fernandes.
Just a really, really cruel defeat. Can you put into words the emotions, having thought you'd won it, to lose it like that?
Oh, it's always tough to lose the game the way we lose today, but I see a team fighting with a great fighting spirit. Obviously, we conceded a late goal after trying to go to get the draw, and you concede another goal, but losing by 1 or 2, it doesn't make difference. So you have to try and make the result. Obviously, the goal on the corner, we could have avoided that. But they have a good team. They play really well. Also, they create a lot of problems to us. It could that if the Garnacho goal is not offside, it could have come to our side. So I think it was a good game from both teams, but they get the points at the end.
Yeah, you mentioned the Garnacho goal, just a few inches offside. Actually, in that last part of the match, did you feel like you were the stronger side, maybe the more likely winners?
No. I felt that the game was really balanced. They had some spells on the ball, but we wanted them to have the spells on the ball, and we knew that we could create danger on the counters, because we have players with great qualities on going in behind like Rashi, like Anthony, and after we have Anthony Martial that can hold the ball, and Rasmus when he came on, they can hold the ball, and after Garnacho also with his pace. So we have the midfielders with the qualities to make the ball going to them. But as you said, it's a few inches is offside, so is what it is. If he's offside, he's offside. We can't get on that. Was a good game. I'm disappointed by the result, but the performance of the team, the desire, the passion, the spirit was there. We fight as a team. We couldn't get the result, but if we keep doing this more consistently, we will get results much better in the future.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you're Manchester United captain, so you probably don't want to stand there after a defeat and talk about progress. But in these types of big away games, they've been so difficult for you in the last year or so. Did that feel like a step forward?
For me, it doesn't matter to be away or at home. It's 11 against 11 on the pitch, so it doesn't change nothing. Obviously, we know the atmosphere when you go away to play against other teams. But
that was better, wasn't it, than some of the away games last season? That's what I'm getting at.
I think we did a really good game today. It wasn't perfect because we didn't win. We didn't get any points today. It was a good performance by the team. The spirit was right, the mentality, the desire, everyone defending, everyone doing their jobs as the way the manager asked. So even the manager said now after the game that we did everything that we had to do, and we have to take care of the details at the end, And sometimes details change this kind of games. It was a set piece that changed the game, where we've been really strong defensively on set pieces, and we conceded a goal unlucky on the last game against Nottingham, where a deviation goes against a player of them and they score, and today another one. But I think we've been really strong on the set pieces. I think as a team today we showed a great spirit, and obviously, as I said, it's not perfect to lose, but I think we can take a lot of positives from this game.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Peter, your manager says your captain rather says there's a lot of positives to take. A really, really good performance.
I think there are spells in the game where it was all right. I don't think at any point it was brilliant, at least not to what I expect of a Manchester United team. I still think, I said this before the game, I still think there are players there that are not doing what they're supposed to do, not running enough, not keeping the ball, not holding on to the ball, and not trying to create what they're supposed to create in the very few situations you get in a game like this. And I think if we take, I mean, we were all waiting for Højlund to come on. We're all waiting for him to make an appearance to see what's he like. I think in the short space of time that he was on the pitch, he did more damage. He worked much, much harder, did a lot of more good for the team than the guy he replaced. And you go away from home to Arsenal, which is one of the teams that can absolutely claim to be challenging for the championship. Then you have to put everything you have into it. And I don't think as a team that probably did, but individual players did not do enough. And that for me it's disappointing. But there were certain spells in the game where it looked good. The goal that was scored, the pass from Eriksen, the way that Rashford took that. Okay, it was offside. Garnacho came on. He's so exciting to watch. And he was marginally offside, at least judged to be.
Let's have a look at it then, because you were flying out of your seat, understandably, at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a roller coaster, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it really is. I mean, there is really absolutely nothing in it. But let's just look at this 18-year-old young man. It's 1-1. It's one of those big games in the Premier League, and the way that he finished that, I mean, my God, you two guys, you must. I mean, you would have been really proud to do that as well, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But here we go. It is so tight. I mean,
what's that? The shoulders? I don't know what he's judging that off of. The margins are.
The lines are there.
I don't know. How'd you pick that out? I mean, I'd love to see, but I think that one of the positives, Bruno Fernandes probably talked. I probably think that Garnacho's a positive. I think they've got to find some way of getting a midfielder in their team who can get on the ball, control it, and then you're able to then use the pace of Rashford, use the pace of Garnacho, because they're playing on the counter-attack. I'm listening to Bruno Fernandes talking, and he's saying, yeah, he was happy with the way it went. He thought they played really well and that they dug it in. Man United have got the kind of players, and we saw with Garnacho, who I cannot believe doesn't start in front of someone like Anthony, who can come on in that game, even if you're playing in that style of football. He's surely going to be better than what Anthony's going to give you at this particular moment, because we saw it in that little cameo there, what he done. So you could see that for me, Man United for me are only missing that person to get the ball in the midfield and control it and pass it so as they can build up their movement off the ball for me.
But I think the players are there. I think the players...
It's the style of play then, because that looked to me like the goalkeeper's just going to knock it long over to Rashford. They were bypassing the midfield. It's only when the game got when Arsenal got a little bit anxious about Man United, they started to pass the ball around. That is when I was starting to feel a little bit more nervous about the fact that they're going to pick through us in a minute. But it didn't happen. It happened again on the counter-attack for Garnacho, because Jesus lost the ball and they were in. So if they're going to play like that, then you play with someone like Garnacho with his pace.
Yeah, they've got to be able to get the ball into through into midfield. So when Eriksen plays the ball for the goal to Rashford, that's only because it was a square ball, it was a mistake. Not once have Manchester United managed to pass and find a way, find a midfielder free, turn, and then it was a mistake that caused their goal. For Manchester United, that's not good enough. They've got to be able to play out better. A lot of the time they went long in the first half, and I think, you see all other teams, you see Brighton doing it 100 times a game. You see every team in the Premier League playing, getting spare men in the midfield. Manchester United seem to be failing to be able to pass the ball out into midfield. And as I say, relying on mistakes, and they've got to sort that out.
OK, much more time to discuss the Arsenal's 3-1 win then